Today we're going to learn about multiplying polynomials. So first of all, what is a polynomial? Polynomial is a mathematical expression that consists of variables, exponents, and it involves addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. An example of a polynomial is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now, there are many different types of polynomials, but the three main ones that we're going to be focusing on today are a monomial, a binomial, and a trinomial. A monomial is a polynomial that only has one term. So in this example, the one term is x squared. A binomial is a polynomial that has two terms. In this expression, the two terms are x in the positive 4, making x plus 4. A trinomial is a polynomial with three terms. And in the trinomial, we have x squared plus 8x plus 16. Also, a polynomial with 4 or more terms is just called a polynomial. Now, what we're going to learn first today is how to multiply a monomial and a binomial. So in this expression, our monomial is 4x and our binomial is x plus 2. So first what we're going to do, we're going to multiply the monomial by the first term of the binomial. So in this example, it would be 4x times x, which would get us 4x squared. Then we would multiply the monomial by the second term of the binomial, which would be in this equation 4x times 2 equals 8x. So now to get the answer, we would just combine the terms to get a final answer of 4x squared plus 8x. Next, we're going to learn about multiplying a binomial by a binomial. First binomial we have is 2x plus 3, and the next binomial is x minus 6. So when multiplying two binomials, you want to use a FOIL technique, the FOIL technique, which stands for first, outer, inner, last. First, we're going to multiply the first terms of the binomials, which in this equation would be 2x times x equals 2x squared. Then we would multiply the outer terms of the binomials, which would be 2x times a negative 6, which would get us negative 12x. Then we would multiply the inner terms of the binomials, which would just be 3 times x being 3x. And finally, we would multiply the last terms of the binomials, 3 times negative 6, which would get us negative 18. And then we would combine all the terms to get 2x squared minus 12x plus 3x minus 18. And then we can simplify that to be 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. The third problem we'll be solving today is multiplying a binomial by a trinomial. In this problem, our binomial is 2x plus 6, and our trinomial is x squared plus 2x plus 1. So similar to how we multiplied the binomials, we're going to use a variation of the FOIL technique. First, we're going to multiply the first term of the binomial and the first term of the trinomial, and we would get 2x cubed. Then we'd multiply the first term of the binomial and the middle term of the trinomial, and that would get us 4x squared. Then we would multiply the first term of the binomial and the last term of the trinomial, which would get us 2x. So the first part of our answer would be 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 2x. But next, after we multiplied the trinomial with the first term of the binomial, now we have to multiply the trinomial with the second term of the binomial. So first we're going to multiply the last term of the binomial, being 6, with the first term of the trinomial, x squared, which would get us 6x squared. Then we'd multiply the last term of the binomial with the middle term of the trinomial, which would get us 12x. And then we would multiply the last term of the binomial and the last term of the trinomial, which would just be 6. So now we would get 6x squared plus 12x plus 6, which would be the second part of our answer. Finally, we want to combine those two answers of 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 2x and 6x squared plus 12x plus 6. And we would combine them to get a final answer of 2x cubed plus 10x squared plus 14x plus 6. Now, the third type of problem we're going to learn today is how to solve multiplying a trinomial by another trinomial. So our first trinomial is x squared plus x over 2 plus 3, and our other trinomial is 3x squared plus 2x plus 12. So once again, we're going to use a variation of the FOIL technique. First, we're going to multiply the first term of the first trinomial and the first term of the second trinomial, and we'll have x squared plus 3x equals 3x to the power of 4. Then we're going to multiply the first term of the first trinomial and the middle term of the second trinomial, and we get x squared plus 2x equals 2x cubed. Finally, we're going to multiply the first term of the first trinomial and the last term of the second trinomial, and we're going to get 12x squared. So then our first part of the answer would be 3x to the power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 12x squared. Now we're going to multiply the second trinomial with the second term of the first trinomial. So first, we're going to multiply the middle term of the first trinomial with the first term of the second trinomial. So that'd be x over 2 times 3x squared, which would equal 3x cubed over 2. Then we're going to multiply the middle term of the first trinomial and the middle term of the second trinomial, which would be x over 2 times 2x, which would get us 2x squared over 2, and then that could be simplified to just x to the power of 2. Then we're going to multiply the middle term of the first trinomial and the last term of the second trinomial. So we'd multiply x over 2 times 12, which would get us 12x over 2, and that can be simplified to just 6x. So then for this part, the final expression would be 3x cubed over 2 plus x squared plus 6x. Now for the third part of the trinomial by trinomial problem, now we're going to multiply the last term of the first trinomial times the entire second trinomial. First, we're going to multiply the last term of the first trinomial with the first term of the second trinomial, which would be 3 times 3x squared, which is going to give us 9x squared. Then we want to multiply the last term of the first trinomial in the middle term of the second trinomial, which would be 3 times 2x, which would get us 6x. Finally, we're going to multiply the last term of the first trinomial and the last term of the second trinomial, which would be 3 times 12, which is get us 36. So this part, it would be 9x squared plus 6x plus 36. And finally, we're going to put all those parts together. So we get 3x to the power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 3x cubed over 2 plus 12x squared plus x squared plus 9x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. And then when we combine all of that, we get 3x to the power 4 stays the same. And then when we add 2x cubed plus 3x cubed over 2, we have to imagine that this says 2x cubed over 1. So in order to make those fractions the same, we would want to double 2x cubed to 4x cubed, and that would be 4x cubed plus 3x cubed, which is 7x cubed, and we would keep the denominator of 2. And then we would add 12x squared plus x squared plus 9x squared to get 22x squared, and we would add the 2 6x's to get 12x, and then we would just keep 36. So our final answer would be 3x to the power 4 plus 7x cubed over 2 plus 22x squared plus 12x plus 36. And that is how you learn how to multiply by polynomials.